Flosstube, welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn and I'm the Lancashire Stitcher. Today is Friday the 28th of July 2023 and this is Flosstube number 76. If you're new here, welcome. This is a channel mainly about cross stitch, but I do include other crafts, and I also talk about the walks I've been on recently or any travels that I've been on. If you're returning, welcome back. It's lovely to be chatting with you all again. This is the third video in 3 weeks. I don't know how anybody does it every week. It's hard work. If you've not seen my Flosstube extra that I did last week, my whip parade, it's there and it's an hour and a half long. It took all day. It didn't upload until 10 o'clock at night. It was just an epic. So yeah, like I said, I don't know how anybody does this weekly. I don't know you have time to do anything else, to be honest. So yeah. So let's get going. I've got a fair bit to show you today. I've got some plans for August. The reason I'm filming on Friday is because I've got a very busy weekend. I'm hoping to get to Burley in Wharfdale tomorrow for the Yorkshire Stitchy Day. And then on Sunday I should be going on a walk unless the weather's torrential rain, which it's not forecast at the moment, touch wood. And then on Monday, which is when I would normally film if I don't get a chance over the weekend, I start jury service. Not looking forward to it. I can't take knitting. Apparently you can't take knitting needles, scissors or anything like that, so I'm going to take some crochet with me. And yeah, hopefully it won't be for too long because there's several things going on that I can't talk about that I'm needed for, and if I'm on jury service for 2 weeks it's going to really mess everything up. So yeah, so I'll just have to go and hope and I can get through it quickly. But yeah, so so basically I've just had a really chaotic couple of months and it's not finished yet. So yeah, here we go. And those people who think jury service, yippee, it's like, huh, really? No. I think it's the boredom that's going to bother me the most. But then somebody at the library was saying this morning about how if you're on a murder trial or anything like that, you know, it can be quite hazardous and quite upsetting. So yeah, I'm hoping for the best. I've got the window open. You might hear the trains going past. I do live near a train line, so yeah, it's not high-speed trains, it's just local trains. So yeah, okay, let's make a start. So I've got a fully finish and it's only a tiny one because it's my mouse, my Sugarplum fairy mouse by Just Nan that I've finished. It's all completely done. You can see his little tail there. Wasn't difficult to do. It's got a big button on the bottom, so to cover the hole, and then you've got this pom-pom trim. It's got some little wings. I don't know if you can see the wings there. So yeah, that's him completely finished. The cotton's gone a bit haywire. He was on the table last week when I was doing my whip parade, so he got a little bit squashed. But yeah, he's finished. So there we go. That's my little finish. Right, so whips. Now, some of these you'll have seen, if you've seen my whip parade last week, you'll have seen them in that and they won't have changed. Because I'm showing things that I've stitched since my last normal video. So since Flosstube 75. So some things have been stitched on again, such as my dragon, other things haven't. So first one, as usual, is my dragon Field Notes by UnconventionalXStitch, Unconventional Cross Stitch, artwork by Hope Christopherson. This gets stitched on every day during the week, unless my husband's at home. He was at home one day this week. So yeah, and that's my dragon. So yeah, page finished. I'm on page 16 now. So yeah, there we go. This is 25 count easy guide by Zweigart. So that's my dragon. Oh dear. And then my next one is my seasonal sal piece, which is Celtic Summer by Lavender and Lace. I've stitched on it since my last video, but I don't think I've stitched on it since last weekend's video. This week's just been a bit chaotic with various things going on, but there it is. That's as much as I've done. Yeah, that way. So that's her arm. The yellow's her arm, and then you've got a little bit of a dress and a little bit of a top of her arm. There we go. Celtic Summer by Lavender and Lace, and then obviously it's a conversion. So yeah, that fabric is Solitaire 28 count even weave by Sparklies. And then my next one is Queen Sari by Bella Fillipina. I've been stitching on this, well, I stitched on this for a few days the other week. Oops, picking up a couple of things there. And that's how much I've done on her. This fabric is, I think it's 32 count Abyss by Pulse Stitches. It's probably Murano Legana. So yeah. So yeah, it's got some Kreinik in there. So basically I've done a skin here. And then I did this band here and then the purple below. So, yeah. Queen Sari. And then this one I've only done a tiny bit, and if you saw my whip parade you've seen it already. This is Coffee or Wine Today by New York Dreamer. And all I've done is the NGE in change. I think I took it somewhere and I just did that little bit. So yeah. So it's usually downstairs this, so I can carry on. I only did that little bit. My next one is QS Spirit of Winter Robin by Heaven and Earth Designs. So yeah, Zero Marchetti is the artwork, the artist, and that's what I've got done so far. So some nice reds in there, oranges. This is 25 count Easy Guide by DMC. So, yeah. Stay there. The next one is my stocking, Thomas's Stocking by Shepherd's Bush. Stitching this for my grandson Noah. And boo, things are falling down. So there we are. As you can see, well, nothing done since the whip parade, but yeah, since my last video I've done the things at the bottom under the ziggy zaggy line. So yeah, that's that one. This is 18 count Flober. Yeah, I think it's natural Flober. Floba. Somebody asked me on my video, on the comments. I've just remembered somebody asked me about something else and I've forgotten to get it out. I think it might just be over there, so I might be able to get it. Next one is World Peace Angel by Lavender and Lace. Stitched on this since my whip parade. During my whip parade I was putting things to one side that I wanted to stitch on. So yeah, that is what I've got done. I didn't get much time to stitch on it, but I've basically done around this bit here. So yeah, there's it's not Kreinik in this, it's Petite Treasure Braid by Rainbow Gallery, and this fabric is Silver Lining, I think it's 32 count Murano Legana by Pulse Stitches. So, yeah, and the hands are done over 1/1, and the face is going to be done over 1 as well when I get us that far. My next one, I'm going to have to put a picture up. I explained in my whip parade that I lost the pattern. I've got a working copy of the pattern, but while I've been stitching it, I've lost the pattern that's got the picture on it because it's a heritage chart. So yeah, so that is my progress on Gone Fishing by Heritage. I've worked on the tree and so this part of the sky. The sky, basically, this is, I think it's 739 DMC. So this bit here is 2 threads, and then this bit here is 1 thread, and then you go up, you carries on up, and then you do a bit in cream, and then yeah, so yeah, that's nearly, well, it's a lot, there's quite a bit of solid colour at the top, but it's not too far off a finish now. I just think that tree just sets it off because that's in the foreground and then everything's behind it. So yeah, so that's Gone Fishing by Heritage Crafts. Right, no, that's not now. So yeah, that's all my whips, I think. Yep, I think that's everything I've worked on since my last proper floss tube. So yeah, so I've got, like I say, I've got quite a few plans to go through. But I'm gonna, yeah, I'll do the plans first. So, as I said in my whip parade, I'm gonna go back to doing the acrostic, the 24 hours of acrostic challenge. And I'm also going to have a go with the magazine monthly challenge, which is an acrostic, but it's only a short one this month, so I'm going to give it a go. Usually on my acrostics I do 4 hours. I'll start with that, but I might cut it down to 3 to see how things go, because like I say, I've been really busy over the last few weeks. But it's just so I get to stitch on different things, because when I was going through all my whips, and yeah, if you saw my whip parade, I've got a lot. I was thinking I'm not getting to stitch on all these, you know. I was pulling the odd thing out of my whip box, but there's a lot of things in there that wasn't getting touched. So I'm going back to my acrostic, and then hopefully I'll be able to stitch on a few other things. So the acrostic, the 24 hours of acrostic challenge for August is the word spontaneous. So for the first S, I'm going to stitch on Simple Gifts Christmas by Praiseworthy Stitches. I'm going to have to put these somewhere else because I'm getting a big pile there. And if you've seen my whip parade, you've already seen this. But that is my progress so far on that. And I want to go across the bottom, I think, and get the bottom filled in. And work up from there. So that's that one. This is being stitched using the called for hand-dyed threads. Can't remember what they are. There's only a couple of colours in it. I think it's just 3. The red, the yellow and the green. But yeah, so that's that one. And then P is going to be Petal Fairy by Mirabilia. It's funny how when I film I forget. It's like, ooh, is it Lavender or is it a Mirabilia? This is a Mirabilia, like Petal Fairy, and I'm doing a conversion of it. Can't remember what this fabric is. I will say what it is when I've stitched on it. But that was my progress so far. Yeah. And then the O is going to be Olga by Plum Street Samplers. And whoops, that is, whoop, that way. That's how much I've got done so far in that one. So hoping to make some good progress on that. I'm putting them there again now instead of over there, so I'm going to get mixed up. Let me just move those and put them over there so I know where everything is. And then N, Spontaneous, the first N, is going to be Hoot in a Boot by Needles Notion. N for Needles Notion. And that is my progress on that so far. Using all the call for threads, and this is the call for fabric. I think it's Venetian stone, what I can remember. And then T is going to be Through the Storm by Silver Creek Samplers. And that is what I've got done so far. This piece of fabric was just out of a grab bag by Paul Stitches. So, yeah. And then A, Spontaneous, is going to be Alice by Ari TM. And that's how much I've got done on that. Yep, I think this fabric is Pearl by Post Stitches. Yeah. And then N, Spontaneous. I actually found the picture is Foxglove by Nora Corbett. N for Nora. Couldn't find this for my Whip Parade. Must have fallen out the bag when I was sorting things, when I was getting things out of the box. And then that is how much I've got done so far on that. I can't remember what this fabric is. It's Post Stitches. Yeah. That's that one. And then E in Spontaneous is going to be Enchanted Alphabet by Lavender and Lace, and I know there's a few people who would be happy to see me stitching on this. It's not been stitched on for a while. And that way. Yeah, there we go. That is how much I've got done on that. This fabric is, it's called Cotton Clouds, and it's by Crafty Kitten, who aren't around anymore. I think it's 32 count. Yeah. So that's that one. And then O, the second O, is going to be Olivia Ochre Leaf by Silver Creek Samplers. Again, not stitched on this for a while. And this is a grab bag piece of fabric by Post Stitches, and that's how much I've got done. It's opalescent fabric. Yeah, nice autumn colours in this design. And then the U, and I was thinking I need to get some more U designs. I've only got two. I've got this one, Up on the Rooftop by Glendon Place, and I've got Under the Sea by Lakeside Needlecraft, and that's the only U's I've got. I've no designers with a U, so I need to find some new U's. So yeah, so I'm going to stitch on Up on the Rooftop by Glendon Place. And that is what I've got done so far on this one. This is Crystal Helix. I think it's 32 count. So yeah, as I said, I'll say what if I know what the fabric is, I'll say what it is when I've finished stitching on it. And then S, the last S in Spontaneous, is going to be Santa Claus by Raise the Roof. This has been done on opalescent white fabric. And that's what I've got done so far. And then, so that's the August Across Stitch Challenge for it's 24 hours of cross stitch. Anybody who's interested in that, there is a link down below to the 24 hours of cross stitch Facebook group, and then if you go to events, it tells you, it usually has about the Across Stitch Challenge, and then there's files as well with the sheets. You get a sheet like this. I bought the yearly sheets, so I don't know if this is actually available yet on the Facebook group. Jen, who runs 24 Hours of Cross Stitch, she has an Etsy store, and she sells a year's supply of things like this. So yeah, so that's that. I like to get them in advance, because otherwise you don't get them till the last day of the month, and you have to quickly plan what you're doing. So right, so this one is this is a new one for me. I know Laurie, Once Upon a Stitch, does this, and it's the magazine monthly challenge. This is another Facebook group, and they have a theme, which it's a forest. I think that's just one. I think you used to have to use magazine charts, but you don't anymore. And then they have an acrostic, and this month's August acrostic is only a short one. It's just roots. Sometimes they can be longer, but I just thought, yeah, I'll give this one a go. So roots, ROOTS. Now I've got that there. I've put these down backwards. That's what I've done. I've put these on the side backwards. So I'll just get them the right way, and then we know what we're doing. Oh dear me. So for R, I'm going to stitch on Raven Queen by Mirabilia. And I showed this in my whip parade, obviously. That is how much I've got done on her. Again, don't know what this fabric is. It's a pole stitches one, I think. No, it's not. It's not pole stitches. It must be sparklies because it's stitched around the edge. So yeah. So that's Raven Queen so far. And then the first O, I'm doing 12 Northern Days of Christmas by X's and O's, as in the O is O's. Again, I've not got many O's, as you'll see in a moment, pardon me. And that's all I've got done so far on that one. Massive piece of fabric to do all the 12. So, yeah. And then the other O is going to be a new start. As I said, I've not got many O's, and it's going to be Strawberry Fur by October House Fibre Arts. So yeah, I've seen this stitched up a lot, so I'm going to make a start on that. I'm just going to do it using the DMC that's given. It usually uses classic Colourworks and Weeks Dye Works, but it does give a DMC conversion, so that's what I'm going to use. So yeah. And then the T is going to be Thomas's stocking that you've already seen. I'm going to stitch on that again, hoping to get a finish on that. And then the S is going to be Sheep for Thee by Bent Creek. And I've looked, and this chart is from 1997. So yeah, as I said in my whip parade, it's an envelope that it's in. So yeah, an old design. And I know this fabric is a fox and rabbit fabric, and it's called Dragon Fruit. Where are we going? That way. There we go. Sheep for Thee, 1, 2, 3. So yeah, basically there's 6 sheep, and then it goes ABC, Sheep for Thee, 1, 2, 3. And then, as I said in my whip parade, I'm hoping to put all my 3 grandchildren with my daughter in Blackburn. I'm going to put their names and the dates of birth underneath when it's finished. So yeah, so that's that. So yeah, lots of whips to work on, and if I don't get all of them done, at least I've had a good go at some of them. But yeah, hoping I can get them done. So that's plans for August. Of course, it depends on this jury service as to how much I'm going to get stitched on in the next couple of weeks. Because I'm getting the train to Preston, which is 2 trains from here. That's unless they're on strike, or a bus. And yeah, that's going to take a lot of the time up. So we'll just have to see how it goes. Okay, giveaway winner. So in my last proper video, I was giving away this Heartstring Sampler Dream Journal Gothic. And the winner is Bibbity Bow. So, congratulations. If you send me an email or message me on Facebook or Instagram, I'll get it in the post to you as soon as possible. I've still not heard from CharJ57, who won the last giveaway I gave. So, this is the last call out for CharJ57. If I don't hear from you before my next video, I'll be giving that away again. And I can't remember what it was. And I've not got it within reach. So yeah. But yeah, if you watch episode 74, Flosstube 74, you'll see what you've won. Okay, stash enhancement. So I've been buying a couple of things on the internet. Now I watched Made by Michelle McGraw. I always watch Made by Michelle McGraw, at least I try to. And she showed a lovely Mrs. Claus stitch that she'd done. And she showed this chart. Scenes of Christmas. Christmas Scenes, it's called. And I just loved it. As soon as I saw it, I thought, oh yeah. And I couldn't find it anywhere. So I put on Facebook asking if people could help, or on Instagram. And then I had a few people message and say, oh, it's on the Le Point de Croix website. And I went on and I found it. It was as a PDF, so I could just get it as a PDF rather than having to pay postage and get it delivered. So I've got it. And I just love some of the pictures in there. Like so, I'm thinking about doing like Michelle is doing, and doing a couple as a separate little ornaments. But yeah, I just love that. That's so cute. The little deer, and Santa and Mrs. Claus, yeah, and the snowman. Yeah, so yeah, it's cute. So that's the first one, and then Beth, who's the Steadfast Stitcher, she has a Facebook group, and on there she put about doing a stitch along using Stitches So Beautiful charts. They're on Etsy. So, of course, I went on Etsy and had a look, and I picked this one. That's so cute, that little mouse in a teacup. It's just called Teacup. And Stitch is So Beautiful. It's there at the bottom. I'll put a link down below anyway. And I was thinking I might cut some of this green off at the top, because that's a lot of that's probably about 4 or 5 pages just on green. So I'm just going to crop it, I think. So yeah, I'll put a link down below to Beth's Facebook group too. But yeah, so I've got that one. And then I can't remember, I think I had an email from these. I think I did. Clouds Factory. It's a website, and I bought 2 on here. So the first one is this. It's called Doctor Who Don't Blink, and it's about the Weeping Angels. As you may know, I'm a geek, and I like Doctor Who and Star Trek and all the rest of it. So yeah, I got that one. And then this next one, I thought, I'm going to make this for my husband for Christmas. It's Assassin's Creed. He's mad on Assassin's Creed. He has an Assassin's Creed wallet, an Assassin's Creed dressing gown. He's got an Assassin's Creed cup, you know, and he's got all the games. So yeah, I just thought, right, I'll get that and make that for him for Christmas. So I got that one. So Clouds Factory. I'll put links to these places down below. So that's my stash enhancement. I don't think I've bought anything else. I know I've ordered a couple of Q-snaps from Marnie's Mixed Bag, but I've not received them yet. Hopefully I'll get them in the next day or two. I buy 11-inch and an 11-inch frame and an 8-inch, and then I make it so it's an 11 by 8. So yeah. So, and I get 2 11 by 8s. So yeah, but like I say, I've not got them yet, so hopefully they'll come in the next few days. So I think that's all. I know I said I'd show this. I think I can see it there. No, that's not it. There it is on the top. Oops, just wait a bit. Right, a lady asked me about When Life Is Done that I showed on my whip parade, and I said that I'd changed the birds into robins. So basically all I've done, I'll show you the cardinal close up. So if you can see, it's got like a pointy head and it's red. So all I did is changed it so it's not got a pointy head. Just took 1 stitch off the top and I made it into brown, and then it's got a little little red breast. So it's a robin, or to me it's a robin. And then there's another one on the plant there. So yeah, so that's that. So I did say I'd show it on my video, and then I forgot when I was setting up. So yeah, so that's When Life Is Done by Silver Creek Samplers. Oh dear. Right, so there's another train. So I've been on one walk in the last two weeks, and it was the other day, last weekend. I went to Hathersage, which is in the Peak District, Derbyshire. I took a lovely guy who's going to lead a walk on the coach ramble next weekend, He doesn't drive, so I said I'd drive him down if he'd lead the walk. We ended up doing 9 miles. It was only it's supposed to be a maximum of 7. The actual walk he was supposed to be doing. So we've managed to cut it down, but we actually walked 9 miles. And it was raining the whole time. It wasn't heavy rain. It was just like a heavy drizzle, like the stuff that soaks you through, as people say. So yeah, we got wet, but not drenched. It was a nice walk. I didn't take too many pictures because of the rain, but there was a massive mushroom, toadstool, whatever you want to call it. It's like maybe about 7 inches diameter. And it was just massive. And then there was we were going along the side of the river. There was like a path alongside the river. It was very muddy, this path, because it had been pouring down, and there was a fence on one side of us, and then the river on the other side, and you had a bit of a river bank at the side before the path. And we were walking along this path, and all of a sudden we saw this cow on a little island in the river, like other side of the river. It's like, what on earth's the cow doing over there? Anyway, I didn't take a picture of this cow because it was raining at the time, and I just thought, right. Anyway, next thing, we come to where these cows were in front of us. So as I say, we were on this little path with a fence on one side, the river on the other, and there were 4 adult cows. Seem to be a lot of trains at the moment. There were 4 adult cows and a calf in front of us, and so we had to try and get them to move. And I had my walking pole, so I was banging those together. The guy was clapping his hands, and they'd move a little bit, and then we'd have to do it again. And then it got to where there was a gate, so they couldn't go any further. But then they weren't letting us pass either. So I said maybe we should try and get down the side, and they might think to come the other way, so like if we move over to the side. So we started doing that, and one of them went down onto the riverbank, where it was quite brambly, and then one of the adults and the young calf went back along the path, so they had the right idea. And then the other 2 cows were following the first one down onto the riverbank. So anyway, so we managed to get past them, but and as we looked back after we got through the gate, they were getting back up on the path. But I've no idea where these cows had come from, because it was the river and there wasn't a gate or anything onto the fields where they could get through. You know, there were just gates along the path. So yeah, so no idea where these cows had come from, but yeah, you hear stories about cows like attacking people or killing people. So yeah, it was a bit hairy for a little while, but yeah, we managed to get through. I will put the pictures that I took at the end again, like I normally do. But yeah, it was interesting. So, but yeah, so next week it's the coach ramble again. I'm hoping to do the longer walk. I'm hoping to go on a walk on Sunday, which is in Bolton by Bowland, which is up towards Skipton way, Settle way. And then next week's the coach ramble, and then it depends on the jury service as to what else I do. Because I know I need to do a recce. I'm leading a walk for a local group on the 12th of August, so I need to do a recce for that at some point. So yeah. But yeah, I'm filming later in the day. It's like 4 o'clock now in the afternoon. Usually I film in the morning, and I've got it uploaded round now. But yes, because I've been at the library this morning, then I had to go shopping. And I just thought, right, usually I'm at choir on a Friday night, but it's not on tonight. So I just thought, right, let's get the video done now and get it uploaded. So yeah, so that's it for today. I'll be back the weekend of the 12th or 13th of August. It should be the 13th, because the 12th is when I'm leading this walk. But yeah, that should be it for now. So have a good 2 weeks. Hope you have loads of stitching time. I hope I do too. Take care of yourselves and those you love. Be kind always, and bye for now.